Good morning everyone. This is lecture number 15 of engineering thermodynamics. In last lecture we have seen basic laws of ideal gases, Boyle's law, Charles law, Gay-Lussac law, Avogadro's law, PVT surface. Now we'll see relation between internal energy and enthalpy for perfect gas. We have already seen the definitions of internal energy and enthalpy in the basic part of thermodynamics in the unit 1. Now, what is internal energy and enthalpy? Internal energy is a energy possessed by the fluid by the virtue of its temperature only at constant volume. As the fluid is heated at constant temperature, constant volume, internal energy changes, but it is not case with the enthalpy. Enthalpy can change at constant pressure, at constant volume, or even the temperature or the even the pressure and volume changes, enthalpy changes. But for internal energy, volume has to be constant. As the volume changes, internal energy, increase in internal energy stops, or the change of internal energy stops. We'll see Joule's law. Joule's law state about the internal energy. Joule's law states that specific internal energy of a gas depend only on the temperature of the gas and is independent of the both pressure and volume. Internal energy is independent of both pressure and volume, and it is only depend upon change in temperature. Or we can say the internal energy is a function of a temperature. As the temperature changes, internal energy changes. Internal energy is a function of temperature only, since during the process temperature does not change, the internal energy remains constant. If during the process internal energy doesn't change, sorry, if the if during a process temperature doesn't change, internal energy remains constant. Temperature has to change. If the temperature doesn't change, if the change in temperature is zero, internal change in internal energy is also zero. That is, we can say specific internal energy, that is small u, is a function of temperature. However, at a low pressure and high temperature, where real gases behaves like a semi-perfect gas, where the equation of states for the semi-perfect gas is P small v is equal to RT, is sufficiently accurate. Joule's law holds equally good in that range also. Now, from the definition of enthalpy, what is the definition of enthalpy? Enthalpy is a sum of internal energy and flow work. PV is the flow work. PV is a flow work. Also, PV is equal to RT. We have seen in the last slide. PV is equal to RT. We can replace RT. We can replace PV by RT. Therefore, H is equal to U plus RT. Now, this equation shows the relation between enthalpy and entropy. Since entropy is a function of temperature, and here there is a temperature, enthalpy is also a function of temperature. Since U is a function of temperature only, H is a function of temperature, that is, enthalpy is a function of temperature. Specific heat capacity on the ideal gas. Specific heat for ideal gases, there are two specific heat for ideal gases, that is Cp and Cv, specific heat at constant pressure and specific heat at constant volume. As I explained in last lecture also, the specific heat for solid and liquid is only one. A solid has only one specific heat, that is specific heat of solid, we can say, and the liquid has only one specific heat, that is specific heat of liquid. But gas have two specific heat. Why it has two specific heat? Because gas can be heated at constant pressure as well as constant volume. Therefore, heat capacities of the gas is a different for constant volume process and different for constant pressure process. The enthalpy, the specific heat capacity of constant volume of any substance is defined as Cv is equal to du by dt. Now du is a change in internal energy and dt is a change in temperature. We have seen the relation for change in internal energy, that is Cv into dt. Therefore Cv is equal to du by dt in the at a constant volume, or in other way we can write, it may be seen that Joule's law for the ideal gas states that internal energy is a function of temperature, then Cv is equal to du upon dt. Since enthalpy H is U plus PV, Boyle's law, in Boyle's law PV is equal to function of temperature. According to Boyle's law, PV is a function of temperature and Joule's law, U is a function of temperature together. Hence, H is a function of temperature, and by similar argument to the above, it may be seen that Cp is equal to dH upon dt. Cp is equal to dH upon dt. Now for further, H is equal to U plus dV. If we differentiate it, look at here, we can if we replace PV by RT, then H will become H is equal to U plus RT, and differentiating to this equation with respect to temperature, it will be dH by dt equal to du by dt plus R. Differentiation of T is 1 and R is constant, therefore it is dH by dt equal to du by dt plus R. Now dH by dt is Cp is equal to du by dt is Cv plus R. Then the next relation is Cp is equal to Cv plus R, that is Cp minus Cv is equal to R. We have seen this expression in the last lecture, but this is a proof of that relation. If expressed in terms of molar quantities, then equation becomes Cp minus Cv is equal to R bar. In terms of molar quantities, this expression in terms of characteristics, in this equation R is a characteristic gas constant and Cpa and Cv are the specific heat of a particular gas. But in this case, specific heats are at a molecular level, and R is a universal gas constant, where Cp and Cv are molar specific heat capacities. Okay, we will see some numericals based on this part. The volume of a high altitude chamber, is a 40 meter cube. One chamber is given and chamber is closed, therefore volume is constant in this case. The volume of high altitude chamber is 40 meter cube. It is put into operation by reducing pressure from 1 bar to 0.4 bar and temperature from 25 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius. Now one operation is performed in the chamber. Initially pressure was 1 bar and final pressure is 0.4 bar. Initial temperature was 25 degrees Celsius and final temperature is 5 degrees Celsius. How many kg of air must be removed from the chamber during the process? We have to calculate how many air must be removed. Means we have to calculate change of mass, that is initial mass minus final mass, that is the change of mass we have to calculate. Express this mass as a volume measured at 1 bar and 25 degrees Celsius. Take R is equal to 287 joule per kg Kelvin for air. The volume of chamber is 40 meter cube, and the size of chamber doesn't going to change, therefore volume remains same before process and after process. The data is given. Volume of chamber is 40 meter cube, initial pressure is 1 bar, initial temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. We have to put pressure in Pascal, or if there is a ratio we can put in bar also. Then final volume remains constant because it is a closed chamber. Volume V2 is 40 meter cube. Pressure changes from 1 bar to 0.4 bar. Therefore, P2 is 4 bar. And temperature changes from 25 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius. Therefore, final temperature is 5 degrees Celsius. We have to take temperature in Kelvin. kg of air removed. kg of air removed. Consider m1 is the initial mass and m2 is the final mass. Therefore, kg of air removed is m1 minus m2. Now applying equation of ideal gas, P1 V1 is equal to mRT1, P2 V2 is equal to mRT2. If you write this equation in terms of mass, it will be m1 is equal to P1 V1 upon RT1, and if you write this equation in terms of mass, it will be m2 P2 V2 upon RT2. Now this is the initial mass and this is the final mass. This is the final mass. We have to calculate change in mass. Change in mass is m1 minus m2. Therefore, m1 minus m2 is a P1 V1 upon RT1 minus P2 V2 upon RT2. In this case, volume is constant. V1 and V2 is same. Only pressure and temperature changes. Value of R is also same, which is 287. Therefore, we have taken 1 by R outside. P1 1 into 10 to the power 5. P1 is 1 bar and 1 bar is 1 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. V1 is 40 meter cube. T1 is 298 degrees Celsius, 298 Kelvin, minus P2 0.4 bar means 0.4 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. V2 again 40 meter cube. T2 278. Therefore, M2 minus M1 is 26.71 kg. The volume of this mass of gas at 1 bar and 25 degrees Celsius. We are supposed to find volume of gas at 25 bar, 1 bar and 25 degrees Celsius is given by V is equal to mRT by P. Actually, PV is equal to mRT. Now we know the mass. We got the mass. Therefore, we can find the volume escaped. We can find the volume escaped from the gas. Volume of gas escaped from the chamber. Therefore, V equal to mRT, put M in kg, R 287, temperature 298 means 25 degrees Celsius, upon P 1 bar, that is 1 into 10 to the power 5 is 22.84 meter cube is the volume escaped during a process. Second example, a steel flask of 0.4 meter cube. A steel flask, a flask is given of 0.4 meter cube capacity is to be used to store a nitrogen. Is to be used to store a nitrogen at 120 bar and 20 degrees Celsius. The flask is protected against the excessive pressure by fusible plug, which will melt and allow the gas to escape if the temperature rise is too high. Look at the question first. A steel flask of 0.4 meter cube capacity. A steel flask is given and the nitrogen at initially at 120 bar and 20 degrees Celsius. This is the initial pressure P1 and this is the initial temperature T1. The flask is protected against a excessive pressure by fusible plug. A fusible plug is used to close the steel flask. Now, what is meant by fusible plug? Fusible plug is a device which is used to protect any device or flask by very high temperature. Suppose a high temperature is produced inside a flask, the flask can burst. To prevent flask from bursting, we use fusible plug. Fusible plug is made up of a particular fusible material which can melt at high temperature. Suppose at a particular temperature, fusible plug will melt and it will produce the cavity for escaping the gas so that flask will not burst. How many kg of nitrogen uh, will will the flask hold at designed condition? We have to calculate mass of a nitrogen which will be held by the flask at a initial condition. Initial condition means 120 bar and 20 degrees Celsius. At what temperature must be the fusible plug melts in order to limit the pressure of a full flask to a maximum of 150 bar? We have to calculate second bit. We have to calculate at what temperature fusible plug will melt and it can withstand the maximum pressure of 150 bar. Okay, we'll solve first bit. How many kg of nitrogen will the flask holds at a designed condition? Simply we have to use PV is equal to MRT. The capacity of steel flask volume is given, that is 0.04 meter cube. Initial pressure 120 bar. Initial temperature 20 degrees Celsius. The kg of nitrogen the flask can hold is a PV is equal to MRT. Formula is PV is equal to MRT. PV and T known to us. Mass we have to calculate, but R is not given. R we have to calculate first. We know the value of universal gas constant. Universal gas constant is 8314 joule per kg mole Kelvin, and M is a molecular weight of nitrogen. Molecular weight of nitrogen is 28, and to calculate characteristic gas constant formula is R is equal to universal gas constant upon molecular weight. Therefore, universal gas constant is 8314 joule per kg mole Kelvin upon 28. 28 is a molecular weight of a nitrogen. Therefore, characteristic gas constant of nitrogen is 296.9 joule per kg Kelvin. Assuming nitrogen to be perfect gas, we get mass of nitrogen in the flux at design condition. Here we have to consider nitrogen to be perfect gas, otherwise we cannot apply ideal gas equation or the perfect gas equation. To use this equation PV is equal to MRT, we have to consider nitrogen as a perfect gas. Therefore, M is equal to PV upon RT. Pressure is 120 bar, that is 120 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Volume 0.4 meter cube. RV calculated 296.9 and T 293 Kelvin. The mass of nitrogen is 5.51 kg. The 5.51 kg of mass of nitrogen can be held by the flask. Secondly, we have to calculate the temperature at which fusible plug should melt. You have to calculate temperature. When the fusible plug is about to melt, volume of flask will constant because size of flask is constant and it is a closed system. Therefore, volume remains same, and final pressure or the pressure at which the flask can melt is a 150 bar. We know the pressure, we know the volume, we know the mass. This is the maximum mass of nitrogen the flask can hold. Therefore, temperature T at which, it should be capital T, at which fusible plug must melt is given by PV is equal to MRT. Therefore, T is equal to PV upon MR. In this case, P is 150 bar, that is 150 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Volume is same 0.04 meter cube. M is calculated 5.51 kg. R is 296.9. Therefore, temperature is 93.7 or 366.7 Kelvin. If you subtract 273 from this temperature, we get 93.7 degrees Celsius. It is a temperature at which fusible plug will melt. Next problem. A balloon of a spherical shape 6 meter in diameter. A balloon of spherical shape 6 meter in diameter is filled with a hydrogen gas at a pressure of 1 bar absolute. A pressure of 1 bar absolute. Whenever pressure is given, consider that pressure as absolute only, unless and until a gauge is mentioned. Whenever pressure is given in a bar or any unit, consider that as a absolute. If the specially gauge is mentioned, then we have to convert that pressure in term of absolute by adding atmospheric pressure. A balloon of spherical shape. A balloon is given of spherical shape of diameter 6 meter is filled with a hydrogen. A hydrogen is filled in a balloon at a pressure of 1 bar and 20 degrees Celsius. At a later time, the pressure of gas is 94% of its original pressure at the same temperature. Initially, pressure of a gas was 1 bar and temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. After some time, pressure reduced to 94%. Reduced to 94%. It means initial pressure is 1 bar and final pressure is 0.94 bar, we can see. If you multiply it by 94%, and its original from its original pressure at the same temperature, and final temperature is same. What mass of original gas must have escaped if the dimension of the balloon is not changed? In first bit, dimension of balloon is not changed means volume of the balloon remains constant. We have to calculate mass of a gas escaped. Initial pressure is 1 bar, final pressure is 0.94 bar. Initial temperature 20 degrees Celsius, final temperature 20 degrees Celsius. Initial volume and final volume is also same, but we have to calculate volume of a sphere. Second, find the amount of heat to be removed to cause the same drop in a pressure at a constant volume. We have to calculate amount of heat removed at constant pressure and volume. The diameter of the spherical balloon is 6 meter. The pressure of hydrogen gas is 1 bar. Temperature of hydrogen gas 20 degrees Celsius. At later time, pressure of the gas is P2. P2 is equal to 0.94 P1 and P1 is 1, therefore P2 is 0.94 at same temperature 293 Kelvin. 293 Kelvin means 20 degrees Celsius. The mass of original gas escaped, that is change in mass, equal to m1 minus m2. m1 is when the pressure is 1 bar and temperature 20 degrees Celsius, and m2 is when pressure 0.94 bar and temperature 20 degrees Celsius. m1 minus m2 is equal to p1 v1 upon rt1 minus p2 v2 upon rt2 is equal to v1 upon rt1 minus into p1 minus p2, because volume is same, temperature is same, and r is constant. Therefore v1 upon rt1 into p1 minus p2. Therefore v1 upon rt1 p1 minus 0.94 p1, which is 1 minus 0.94 p1 v1 upon rt1. Now here the value of r to be calculated. Here we are calculating the percentage change in mass, the percentage mass escaped, that is change in mass upon original mass. Here we calculated, this is the mass of gas escaped, but in term of pressure, volume, r and temperature. This is not the final value. Here we are calculating percentage of mass escaped, that is amount of mass escaped upon initial mass. Now the amount of mass escaped is P1 V1 upon RT1 into 1 minus 0.94, and M1 is the initial mass, that is P1 V1 upon RT1. Now here P1 V1 RT1 get cancelled and it is 6%. It is coming to be 6%. Whatever is the ratio, we have to multiply it by 100. amount of heat to be removed using the gas equation, that is P1 V1 upon T1 is equal to P2 V2 upon T2. This is the ideal gas law. P1 V1 by T1 equal to P2 V2 by T2 equal to P3 V3 by T3. Since we are calculating it for process 1 and 2, it will be P1 V1 upon T1 is equal to P2 V2 upon T2. But in this case, volume is same. V1 is equal to V2. We can cancel it out. V1 and V2 is cancel it out. P2 is equal to 0.94 P1. That is P1 by T1 is equal to 0.94 P1 upon T1. P1 will get cancelled and we will get T2 as T2 is equal to 0.94 T1. That is 0.94 into 293, which is equal to 275.4 Kelvin or 2.42 degrees Celsius. Now heat is removed is given by, since the volume of balloon is same, we have to use heat transfer at constant volume, and heat transfer at constant volume is Q mCV delta T, and mCV delta T is change in temperature, highest temperature minus lowest temperature. Q is equal to mCV T1 minus T2. We can take final minus initial also, but final is less and initial is high. Even though we are considering highest temperature first and lowest temperature later, Q is coming positive, but heat is rejected. The Q is negative. Here value of Cv is not given for hydrogen. Here value of Cv is not given for hydrogen, and mass we have not calculated it. Let us calculate mass first. R bar is equal to m into R. Therefore R is equal to 8314 upon 2. 2 is a molecular weight of hydrogen. Therefore I will put R is equal to 8314 upon 2. Therefore m is equal to P1 V1 upon RT1. P1 is 1 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi R cube. Diameter is 6, therefore R is 3. R is 8314 upon 2 into T is 293. Cv is not given in this problem, but Cv of hydrogen is 1040 joule per kg Kelvin. This has to be given in the problem. Or we can use this from the data table. This value must be given. This value will be given during a problem in the examination. Therefore Q, that is heat removed, is 9.28 into 10400 293 minus 275.4, that is 1.69 megajoule. This equation will give you value in joule, and after converting in megajoule it is 1.69 megajoule. This is mCV delta T, change in temperature. The next part is thermodynamic processes. We have already seen thermodynamic processes, that is constant volume process, constant temperature, constant pressure process. Okay, let us revise again. Constant pressure or isobaric process. Constant pressure process also called as isobaric process. It refers to the thermodynamic process in which there is no change in pressure during a process. Such type of process are called as isobaric process. The process in which pressure remains constant, a process in which pressure does not change, is called as an isobaric or constant pressure process. Consider this example. Consider a beaker. A gas is placed inside, and this gas is covered with a piston, and this piston is a movable piston. Now this gas is heated. As the temperature is increasing, volume is increasing and piston is moving in the upward direction. as the piston is moving, this piston is keeping same pressure on the gas. The piston is applying same pressure on the gas as the piston is moving. It means as the temperature increases, volume increases when pressure remains constant. Look at the PV diagram, pressure volume diagram, process 1 to 2. During process 1 to 2, as the temperature increases, volume increases but pressure remains constant. This states about the uh, Charles law. In Charles law, volume is directly proportional to temperature at constant pressure. Next, constant volume. This constant volume process is given by the Gill-Sacks law. When the fluid undergoes a thermodynamic process in a fixed enclosed space such that the process occurs at a constant volume, then the process is called as a constant volume or isochoric process. Or the process takes place or during a process volume remains constant, such process is called as a constant volume process or isochoric process. Suppose a gas is filled in a closed vessel, the volume is constant of the vessel and the process takes place, such process is called as constant volume process. Look at this example. This is a beaker and this lid is applied on this beaker. This is a fixed lid. This lid is not, or this cover is not going to move. When the heat is supplied to the gas, the pressure start building because volume is not changing. Pressure start building since the volume is not changing. It means at constant volume, as the temperature increases, pressure also increases. As the temperature decreases, pressure also decreases. Look at the PV diagram. At constant volume, pressure increases. Next, constant temperature process or isothermal process or Boyle's process. We can say we have already seen Boyle's law, and the process in which the temperature remains constant is called as a Boyle's process. The thermodynamic process in which the temperature remains constant is called as a constant temperature or isothermal process. In this case, gas or vapor may be heated at constant temperature and there shall be no change in internal energy. Internal energy is a function of temperature and internal energy changes only when the temperature changes. Look at the PV diagram. When the temperature is constant, pressure varies inversely proportional to the volume. As the volume decreases, pressure increases. As the volume increases, pressure decreases at constant temperature process. Adiabatic process. Adiabatic process is the one in which heat transfer is zero. An adiabatic process is the thermodynamic process in which heat interaction during a process is zero. That is Q is equal to 0. Q is a heat transfer and the process where heat transfer is 0, such process is called as adiabatic process. In this process, the work interaction is there at the expense of internal energy only. At the expense of internal energy means work is equal to internal energy in this case. The PV diagram, in this case also, pressure and volume varies inversely proportional to each other and gives the relation PV raised to power gamma is equal to constant. For adiabatic process, this index gamma is equal to 1.4. The value of index is 1.4. But in case of isothermal process, PV is equal to constant. The value of gamma is 1 for isothermal process and value of gamma is 1.4 for adiabatic process. If the value remain between 1 and 1.4, then such processes are called as polytropic process. We will see polytropic process. Polytropic process, the polytropic process is the most commonly used process in practice. Isothermal process, isobaric process, adiabatic process, isochoric process. These processes are the ideal process, and in actual practice these processes doesn't exist. Therefore, polytropic process is a process which is a real process, takes place. In this process, thermodynamic process, in this, the thermodynamic process is said to be governed by the law PV raised to power n. Here, power is replaced by gamma is replaced by n. Therefore, PV raised to power is equal to constant for polytropic process where n is an index which can vary from minus infinity to plus infinity. And this is a PV diagram which shows different processes. This process where value of n is equal to 0 is a constant pressure process or isobaric process, and the process where value of n is infinity is a constant volume process. This is a process where value of n is a 1. This process is called as an isothermal process. This is a process where value of n is equal to 2. It is a polytropic process. If we draw a process where value of n is equal to 1.4, then that process is said to be adiabatic or isentropic process. Now, hyperbolic process. Hyperbolic process is one in which product of pressure and volume remains constant during a process. Product of pressure and volume remains constant during a process, that is PV is equal to constant. The curve for such an expansion process is a rectangular hyperbola, and hence this is known as a hyperbolic expansion. For perfect gas, PV is equal to T is equal to constant. If the T is constant, then it means that the perfect gas hyperbolic process is also a isothermal process. If in a hyperbolic process temperature remains constant, then such process is also called as isothermal process. We have seen in a isothermal process, for the isothermal process, the PV diagram shows the hyperbola, that is rectangular hyperbola, which is PV is equal to constant. Means hyperbolic process and isothermal process is in fact a same process, but in hyperbolic process we cannot say that the temperature is constant, but PV is equal to constant is definitely is there. But if the temperature is constant, the hyperbolic process becomes isothermal process. Now next part is free expansion. We will see free expansion in the next class.